Hello there, this is Dave Motohead, and safety is always first in my garage. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about dipsticks. Everybody gets confused with the dipstick, and there's 3 different configurations of dipsticks on the Corvair, and I just want to kind of go over those with you real quick so you dipsticks won't get confused about your dipsticks. Well, first of all, the early model Corvairs, 60 to 63, you could have 1 or 2 dipsticks depending on what model. If you have the manual transmission, you would only have an engine oil dipstick. If you have a power glide transmission, you would have a engine oil dipstick and a automatic transmission fluid dipstick. Now in 64, GM got smart and they added a transaxle dipstick to the 64 and 65 models only. And that way you could check your transaxle and transmission oil level from the convenience of the engine compartment. And I like those models, and I always try to run the 64, 65 trannies because I just like having the extra dipstick. Now in those models, you could have 1, 2, or 3 dipsticks depending on your configuration. And anyway, I'm going to go over all them dipsticks with you right now, so excuse me for a moment while I put on the hat cam. Oh. I don't know which looks worse, my safety goggles or my unsafety goggles. Anyways, let's go to this engine first. This is a 66 transaxle. This has got no dipstick that you can see of on the transaxle. What it has is it's got a plug right here. Let me get a flashlight so I can show you guys that. How you check this? Now this is a 67, and the transmission or GL4 transaxle fluid is 80-90 weight. It shares between these two. It's got a little hole inside there, and when you fill this one up and this one up, it shares the fluid. It flows back and forth. Now this plug is the transmission plug. And what you want to do is you want to pull that plug out, and you want your level to be right at the bottom of that opening. So when you fill it up, it'll start to dribble out a little bit. You can stick your pinky in there and see it's full, and then you put it back in there. And if you see there, it says Hypoid, use Hypoid lube, which GL4 is the suggested lube. And you can see there's a boss right there where the dipstick can be tapped if you want to put the dipstick on the 66 to 69 transaxle. You can actually tap it in there and add the 65 dipstick. And also note there is 6 bolt holes on each side. There's 3 here and 3 here for that one. So then that you can tell that that is a 66 to 69 transmission. Now on the transaxle, if you look right there, there is the fill plug for the transaxle on the 66, and you do the same thing. You pull the plug out and you fill it full of your GL4 until it just starts to, dribble out when it's level with that plug hole. You plug it up, and then you're full of your transaxle fluid. And there's also the engine dipstick, which is that one right there, and as you can see, it goes down into the engine. So on the 66 to 69, if it's a manual transmission, you're only going to have this one dipstick. Now, if we go over here, this is a 65 transmission that does not have the dipstick, and if you look right here, it says transfill only. You pull that plug out, same thing, you fill it up until it first starts to dribble out, and then the the transmission's full, and then same thing on the transaxle. There's that plug, you can fill that up until it starts to dribble out, and then you're full. And this 65 transmission transaxle, it shares fluid also. And if you notice, it only has 4 bolts. It's got one there, one there, one there, and one there. Now this one, for some reason, that's where the transaxle dipstick goes. For some reason that is blocked off on that one, and this one's broken too. This is the one that came in striper. If you see, the whole bottom section is broke there. So that's why we took it out. We didn't want to use it. Now, if we come over to this engine, this is a 65 automatic. And what you got here is you got your engine oil dipstick that sits on top of the engine. Then you've got your 65 transaxle dipstick, which goes down to, if you follow it, it goes down to the boss. You see right there, it goes right into the transaxle. And then you've got your automatic dipstick, which is the bigger tube there. And it goes down to the pin of the automatic transmission. So this model actually has 3 dipsticks to confuse you even more. It's got the engine oil dipstick, and the transaxle dipstick, and the automatic dipstick. Now on this model, the transaxle is blocked off when you put the automatic on there, and all the GL4 stays in the transaxle only. And actually Richard 1 says you can use GL5 in this because there's no synchros in there that can get hurt. So basically, if you have a 65 and you have 64, 65, and you have 3 dipsticks, then you have an automatic transaxle. If you have this dipstick and this dipstick, then more than likely you have a manual transaxle. So once again, automatic, transaxle, engine oil. And so if you come out here and you look at my little Corsa, I have a 65 because I like the 65's kind of shift smoother to me. And I've got my engine oil and I've got my transaxle. Now if this was an automatic, I'd have a big tube right here for the automatic transmission fluid. So I've only got 2 because I'm a manual and it's a 65. If this was a 66 manual, I'd only have this one. If this was a 66 automatic, I would have the engine oil and the automatic transmission fluid. So I know it's confusing, and I hope that clears it up a little bit. But it's really hot out here. Anyways, that is a very confusing thing that GM did, but I like the 65s the best. So anyway, I hope that clears up a little bit of confusion when it comes to your dipstick, because I know if you look at different cars and you say, hey, what the heck's this dipstick for? I've never seen one of those before, and more than likely you're looking at your transaxle dipstick or your automatic transmission dipstick. But if it's a 66, it's not going to have the transaxle dipstick. So the best thing to do is buy the shop manual and read it, because that'll clear up any misconceptions you might have. Anyway, this is Dave Motohead. It's 100 and something degrees out here. It's hot. I'm going inside. Thanks for watching.